Why y'all ain't y'all's downtime? Back it up, folks. Back it up some. Why y'all ain't y'all's downtime? We should be rejoicing, spending time with the family. Show you what I'm doing. Here, folks, capture this on camera. Here, live.
I have a dream. One day, this nation will rise up, live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners will they be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream that one day even the state of Mississippi, a state sweltering with the heat of injustice, sweltering with the heat of oppression, be transformed into an oasis of freedom and justice. I have a dream. My four little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today. I have a dream. I have a dream. I have a dream. Years to my heart. Years to my heart. Years to my heart. Years to my heart. I have a dream. I have a dream. So let freedom ring from the rugged hilltops of New Hampshire. Let freedom ring from the mighty mountains of New York. Let freedom ring from the hiking Alleghenies of Pennsylvania. Let freedom ring from the snow-capped Rockies of Colorado. Let freedom ring from the curvaceous slopes of California. But not only that, let freedom ring from Stone Mountain of Georgia. Let freedom ring from Lookout Mountain of Tennessee. Let freedom ring from every hill,
Hey, they love it.
old hill of Mississippi, from every mountainside. I have a dream. I have a dream. Years to my heart. Years to my heart. Years to my heart. Years to my heart. I have a dream. When we allow freedom to ring, when we let it ring from every village, every hamlet, from every state and every city, we will be able to feed us that day when all of God's children, black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics, will be able to join hands and sing in the words of the old Negro spiritual. Free at last, free at last, thank God Almighty, we're free at last. I have a dream. Years to my heart. Years to my heart. Years to my heart. Years to my heart. I have a dream.
You about to leave again?
I have a dream.
Oh.
I have a dream. I have a dream.
Well, they on that motherfucker. Down the block, damn. See, life is too grand. Life is too grand to become so sanctified that you can't enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? And whenever y'all get through, Martin Luther King was a mortal man just like anybody else, but his vision far surpassed anything that we ever comprehended. One of the things that was comprehended is that there will eventually come a day that white men and black men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics, you're talking about all religious ideologies, being broken. You talk about the fulfillment of Micah's prophecy. In the last days, the mountain of the Lord shall be reestablished in the earth, and many nations shall flow into it. They shall say, come, let us go up into the house of the God of Jacob, and there he shall teach us his ways. We get hung up on mediocre things. I mean, I looked over the Lord and allowed me to see the promised land. I might not get there with you, but I've seen it. You're talking about somebody that's seen the fulfillment of the Most High's prophecy coming to pass, whether you believe it or not. But that's not my point. My point is this: right now, that coronavirus got all of our people shaken up with the people that during their time of judgment. Hey, look, as I said before, if it's time for you to get your whooping, and I ain't done nothing, hey, you know what? I'm going on about my business. I can listen to you hollering and scream from the outside, but I ain't taking no beating like that. You know what I mean? I ain't taking no beating that I ain't justly deserving. So you got to be able to draw some lines of distinction between what's happening. So I'm telling you, brothers and sisters, while y'all got y'all's downtime, y'all can look at the systematic schemes, how, you know what, everything being put in place, social distancing, 6 feet apart from each other, can't buy no seeds to garden with, and all that type of stuff. But the liquor stores are still wide open. So many brothers and sisters, from the time they've been out work, they've been in the liquor store drinking every day. You understand what I'm saying? We better check ourselves before we wreck ourselves. So take the time to take this downtime and really make something meaningful out of it. Enjoy time with your family. Enjoy time with your wife. Enjoy time with your children. Enjoy time with some of the family members that you ain't seen in a long time. Some of the old folks that's growing old that you ain't seen in a long time. That work have always been your excuse or your reason for not being able to go and do some of these things. Well, now that you got a little downtime where you don't have to work, you know what I'm saying, you can capitalize on some of them things that you made excuses off of. See, don't no man know when the end of his life is gonna come. That's in the Most High's hand. And ain't nobody gonna tell me about something. You know what? I know that when it's time for me to die, only the death angel can come to get me. And the death angel come from the Most High. So I want to tell some of the brothers and sisters that life is meant to be lived. I'm not living my life in nobody's book. I've studied more books than the average person. I've gleaned more understanding and more knowledge out of the things that I've studied than what we might call the average person. But all of those things that have been learned have to be lived. They have to be practiced. They have to be put into a place of reality. You know, when you just keep your head stuck in the book and you so preoccupied with dissecting everything that happened in 2000 BC and all of that stuff don't have no bearing whatsoever on this life that you live in this 21st century. And if those things that you're gleaning out of the scripture, they're not being practicing. You ain't practicing it and putting it in your life, and it's not bringing you to a place to where you really experiencing some real life changes, especially as far as love goes. We still got brothers in here that can dissect the book of Joshua, the book of Enoch. We got people still crying about these different books, whether this book is out there, whether that book is out there. You know what? That don't help you when you got to go pay your light bill. Because see, them people behind the cash register, they don't care nothing about no book that you'd have ever read. And you know what? 9 out of 10 times, many of the people that you come across in your everyday life, they don't care nothing about that stuff. But you have a specific group of brothers and sisters that we tend to get stuck in certain places and then go too far to the left or too far to the right. But one of the things that my big brother, Elder Milligan, used to always tell me, and still tell me to this day, bro, is you know what? You got to keep balance. You got to find the balance. You got to balance. Life is a juggling act, and we got to navigate our way through the minefield of life. At any given moment, anything can go wrong. You can step on the wrong thing, but at the end of the day, the Most High is the one that gives life, and the Most High is the one that takes life away. And if that be the case, how is some people that ain't never in their history been known to tell the truth? How am I going to be taking my cues from them? You will see, they're going to be corralled like cattle because they have been inheriting lies from their forefathers since the beginning of time. But us, on the other hand, oh man, it's a double portion of wickedness on us. How you going to listen to the very people that did all these kind of things to you, the very people that have been responsible for impoverished conditions, is responsible for the prison industry, responsible for all of that, and you mean to tell me that you can turn on CNN and then you can come out of your house wearing a mask simply because they tell you to? You can listen to CNN and they can tell you that black people, their numbers are dying and they're dying off more rapid. Listen, that's a prophecy. That's a prophecy. That's a narrative that's being painted. For when they start killing people, you'll be numb to it. You're already expecting a bunch of us to die. But for those that don't believe in the false prophecies, hey, we come out and live life as it been going. And you should really be rejoicing and thanking the Most High, because it ain't never been a time in the history of mankind to where our people have had the opportunity to do the things that they should be doing right now during this time. You see? And we have neglected our families and neglected everything and our friends and neglected our relationships and everything behind being a slave from an employee standpoint. Oh, well, I gotta work. Oh, I gotta work. Well, I would come by and do this, but I gotta work. I would hang out a little longer, but I gotta work. Oh, you know what? I planned. I had every intention on, but I gotta. Now you ain't gotta work. So what's your excuse now? What's your excuse now that you ain't gotta work? You see? So it's what it is, man. We should be enjoying our life and every day. You know what I mean? When God called, shit, you can't impress him with no knowledge, because he is omniscient. He holds all knowledge, past, present, and future. He holds all knowledge. So you know, and many of us, we already know more than we ever gonna live by. So let us learn how to just live and embrace one another and love. You're gonna conquer something. Conquer the greatest commandment. The greatest commandment that was ever given was the law of love. See, I don't need to pay attention to any of the rest of the laws while people talking about being a law keeper. If you can master the law of love, then you know what? All of the rest of them go away. All the other laws was a result of men sin because they have not mastered that law. So it's what it is. I say, like young General Deshaun Tatum used to call me up every Friday going into the Sabbath. He said, I don't know about you, Elder, but I got my wine. So I got my wine. I'm feeling good. All praises, shouts out to the many brothers and sisters who are serving and looking out for the Father's people on a daily basis. And see, while we had that music playing, I was out there dancing in the street. I really wanted to put the music on and dance in the street so I can play the Martin Luther King, you know what I mean, and bring some understanding to that dream that Martin Luther King had. It's going to be raveled up. That dream that Martin Luther King had is raveled up in the same dream that the Most High had given Moses. Now, you know what? We are very disrespectful people when it comes to our own people, but I wanted to play that on there because it has some good things in there that I can paint a good picture. And mostly I wanted people to see me out here having fun and enjoying this life that the Most High. I don't care what kind of stuff is out here. I don't care. I'm still living. I'm going to live right on through it, navigate my way right on through it. Now, you can stay stuck in the house, or you can have your man, and I'm telling you, it's a ploy because if you're a melanated person, you'll get sick automatically if you keep yourself away from sunlight. If you stay in the house if you want to, and you'll be sick, because we depend on vitamin B. You see, that's one of the things I learned from one of our elders yesterday. But I put that music on. Do you know what? There's people all down this block. They was coming out with their cameras. Some of them was dancing in the yards. I got some people right up here. They came to the corner. They was out there dancing on their yard, and they was trying to catch on to the line dance that I was doing. But man, see, I'm telling you, man, that's what we need, and it's already in us to do. You're going to be Judah, then you be Judah. Judah. Thy hand shall be in the neck of thy enemy, and the scepter shall not depart from between thy feet. Judah is the leadership. So if you're gonna be, you can't be Judah if you ain't leading. You gotta lead the way. You can't be following CNN and following the local news and following everything that these people say. You got to go on and be who it's supposed to be. If you're gonna be Judah, you gotta lead the way. You got to lead the way. That means that where it ain't no road, you got to lead first, and you got to dig up the stuff, and you got to lay a foundation. You got to pave the road if you're going to be Judah. Everybody want to holler that they Israel. Everybody want to holler that they Judah, but don't nobody want to be out front leading. Everybody taking their cues off of somebody else. We need to see some men out here doing stuff that they ain't never seen nobody do before. You know what I mean? Like going through a forest, just going through a forest, just wreaking havoc, creating a path, creating a trail, and then other people will be able to use that same trail. That's the responsibility of Judah. So don't come to me talking about I'm Israel, I'm Judah, you know what I mean? And you ain't got no leadership mindset. You still following everything that you see on YouTube. You still following everything that you see your forefathers do, as though the Most High to stop speaking to men in this hour. The Most High ain't through speaking to men in this hour. He's going to be speaking to men until it's over. He's going to be speaking to me until it's over. So, don't forget that. All praises to the Most High Heavenly Father and His glorious Son. And we give thanks for His Ruach HaKodesh, or some know as the Holy Spirit. Enjoy your life.